Okay, so in this video we're going to look at Meditation, which is one of the Group B pieces from the Trinity Grade 3 drum kit syllabus, and we're going to break it down line by line to help you put it all together. Okay, I'm going to talk through each line and then you're going to practice each line 4 to 8 times, no mistakes, before you move on to the next line. That way you won't overlook your mistakes. You'll get comfortable, and then you'll be able to take on the whole piece. Okay, but don't rush ahead until you've got the bits you're already looking at covered. Okay, so it starts with a fill that goes flam, bass, snare and open hi-hat, like that. And then we've got this hip hop groove, which is a flam. You have to bring your right hand over, look, bass and snare and lemma, bass, snare, and 1 and 2 and 3 E and snare and, yeah. Notice the little extra bit on the second bar. Okay, and then if we move on to the second line, it goes bass and snare and 3E and snare, bass, puppy, puppy, bass and puppy, 1E, 2E, 3 and 4E. It's the second line. Okay, I'm going to play up to there from the first line. Here we go. Try and play with me if you've got it yet. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, it's 1, 2, 3 and then the fill. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so then if we look on the second line, the next bar is your hip hop groove again. Okay, which goes like this. Look at that third line, we've got a little crossover bit where your hand comes, your snare hand has to come over, so your hi-hat hand has to come onto the snare. So you go, this is line 3, bass and snare and 3E and snare and, look. Okay, a bit fiddly that, maybe have a practice of that on its own. And then the last bar of the third line is quite simple. It just goes bass, 2, 3, bass, 2, 3. Okay, notice those rests. You've got a crotchet rest and a quaver rest in there. Line 3, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, on to line 4. We've got to do lemonade on the hi-hat with one hand, okay? But otherwise, it's a similar groove. We're just keeping our right hand on the hi-hat now. Look. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 hand. And then we've got a fill. And then this. Snare, snare, bass, snare with an open hi-hat, look. So. And then it goes back to the groove again. Everyone gets these bits mixed up, the one I just played and the one before it. This time it's snare, bass, snare, snare, 3 E and 3 and a 4 and 3 and a 4 and. So let's put the two bits together. Back to line 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Next bit. So we're on line 5 now. You're back to your hip hop groove, but with an extra bass. It goes. bass, bass. bass, snare, and 3E and 4, and crash, crash, flam, flam, bass E, bass, snare. Crash, crash, flam, flam, bass E, bass, snare. Okay, so that was line 5. Let's go from the fill on line 5. Now if you're being clever, you might have noticed there's actually a repeat mark. So that bit on line 4 to the fill on line 5 actually happens twice. So we're going as if we'd played it the second time, okay? So from line 5, the fill the second time. Okay, on to line 6, second from last line, normal groove. So notice there's a diminuendo and then a crescendo, so it's supposed to get softer and then louder again. Okay, and then we'll look at the last bit, which is the trashy hi-hat bit on the second from the last line. Just from the groove on the 6th line. Here we go, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now we're going to look at the trashy hi-hat bit, which has got a kind of double time feel going on. And it goes bass, snare, right, left, right, bass, snare, 4E under. Bass, snare, right, left, right, bass, snare, 4E under. And then the same bit again on the last line, but with this sort of stop. Then the same thing again. And that's the end of the piece, okay? So try and practice line by line, 4 to 8 times, no mistakes, following the instructions in the video, and then try and put it together for a whole run through, okay? For a whole performance. Okay, good luck.